Well, hello there, everyone. Just taking a quick minute to get set up. We've got a few minutes before the actual playoff matches start. And as soon as I make sure that this stream is up and running, this is only the second stream that I'm trying on my laptop. But as soon as I know that it's up and running properly, we'll take a quick look at the betting situation. Gonna have to pour myself a beverage, too. All right. Okay, good. We're live on YouTube as well. I was worried about that, how the cross-platform streaming was going to go on this laptop, but it looks like it's up and running just fine. Ding, I believe we're going to start with Maebari versus YOASOBI. This is an interesting match for me. I like their playstyle, and also it's extremely even, the betting, so it should be a close match. We have 3 minutes before the matches get started, so I'm going to quickly just go over. It's time for some last-minute betting. We've got Clock versus Auto Run. Auto Run, obviously a heavy favorite here. I wouldn't recommend... I mean, it's as tempting as it is. This is the widest spread for odds. As tempting as it is to bet against Auto Run here, I think that's a long shot. Absol versus Mr. Bug, another close one. Daywalker versus Meow Sensei. To be honest, this might be the one that has the best chance of getting you a good return on your bet. Meow Sensei has played really well in the past few rounds, but I don't think that Daywalker should necessarily be this much of an underdog in terms of betting. Straw versus Dennis. I do think Straw will probably win that one. Same with Eggtang versus Trady. I think Eggtang wins here. Everblue versus Dark Knight. I do think Dark Knight wins that one. So again, YOASOBI and Maebari, not really worth betting on for such even odds. You're basically just getting your money back. And Desu Life versus SCL. This might be another one that's tempting because the odds heavily favor Desu Life here, but we do know that SCL is a really good player. I do think Desu Life's probably going to come out on top here, but if you did want to go for another interesting bet, SCL, not a bad option. Kata, a ticket on Clock doesn't seem like a bad idea. Yeah, no, I mean, the pot odds are probably right that, especially for free tickets, chucking a ticket basically doesn't cost you anything, and you do have the opportunity to potentially win big. I honestly don't know if I'm betting in this round. Obviously, I'm super poor, and I would love to have money. Like, I have enchants. I need to enchant. But I think I'm just going to probably toss my free tickets. I'm going to toss them at Daywalker here. Sorry, Meow. I know that I'm in your guild on the other server, but Math is talking to me right now. But what I'm not going to do is go ham buying a bunch of tickets to throw them against Meow here. So it looks like I have about 20 seconds left to get the old pre-stream pour out of the way, so I'm going to do that now. And then we'll hop into our match. All in on Daywalker. I don't think that's a bad bet, Greenwinkle. Alright, we've got some sparkling watermelon water on the go today. So, nice and refreshing. Alright, the matches are up. Okay, so YOASOBI playing a fairly straightforward looking box here. We do have Sissy White in action, which isn't really surprising nowadays. And Maebari's box looks nothing too out of the ordinary over here either. If I had to pick who I'm cheering for between these two, I don't really know tons about either player personally, but Maebari is rocking the Transcender EOL avatar, so you know I'm biased in that sense. Going to have to root for Maebari because of the sweet Transcender avatar. And actually, that reminds me, I need to change my stream overlay to get the EOL Transcender up there instead of the normal one. Alright, so we are playing in the cave on the first match. YOASOBI banning out Rosenseal, not a big surprise there. So Maebari's going to want to look at picking either a tank or a healer here. Nice strong DPS first picks. Maebari not taking the bait, going for another DPS pick. And YOASOBI locks up that sweet Sage faction buff for Kyra. This will be kind of the pick here that determines what Maebari's approach to this battle is going to be. Obviously taking some time to think it over, too. Not going with the tank bans, taking out a couple more scary DPS. Gets Jugler out as their own tank. We'll see if YOASOBI wants to slow this match down with the tank here. Nope. Good pick. Maebari just closing out more healers, so no Sissy in action in this game. It was all AoE-ish options left for Maebari. Yeah, Apti, I think both of these players are very comfortable with the kind of playstyle where try to end the game quickly. Although YOASOBI does lock up Hilda to tank. And gets Burn as a solid last pick. That'll help buff Lucretia. It'll help with Hilda. Hilda being here also does slightly reduce the effectiveness of the Cherie. But there's a lot of AoE options here as well. Alright, so. Now, while they're setting up their skills and soldiers, which we'll check out as soon as we load into the match, how do we feel about this ban pick? Who has the edge here? Kind of liking Maebari's team. Bozal is very dangerous. But of course we do have Kyra here who can take care of that Bozal. So I think we're going to see some interesting positioning in the first couple rounds of this match, just because, like you said, Apti, no healers on either side, so they're going to have to be kind of spring-loaded to launch their attacks and then be committed once they do. So the chat's saying that a couple options for Maebari's side is Lucretia looking to snipe Kyra, or Cherie just running in and hitting Kyra. Doesn't even matter if she kills. but that'll just remove Kyra's kill potential versus the Bozal. So we have a standard Bozal with the faction buff, and it's 3C. We have Shadow Raiden 3C, but with Angels on the Cherie. We have Archers and pretty much full AoE on Lucretia, and Burn with AoE as well. Yeah, Sage brought his faction buff. So we've got a typical Kyra with the 2 guard ignores, 2 guard skills on Hilda, and a faction buff Ares. So Ares with no AoE option, that's probably fine against this Jugler. He's going to be looking to pick someone off more so than splashing. I think it's going to really determine whether YOASOBI can protect this Kyra or not. And put her to good use before she can either be crippled by Maebari's team or before Bozal can start opening up. Yeah, this is glory for sure. Hilda didn't bring buff though. Hilda brought the 2 guard skills. So that's why the buff on Ares. Yeah. We'll see if that comes into play, Red. Well, hello there, Kizza. Good morning, welcome to the stream. Well, you know, you say rants. Gotta help out however I can, right? Hey, bro. So aggressive positioning with Cherie here, getting ready to pull the trigger. Well, Kizza, you're not alone there. Not in the sense that people built Lana, like, jumped the gun. But most early, well, every early player had Lana built long before Light of Genesis even came out, so we're all sitting here with Lanas that we put investment into. It's not the worst thing in the world. She is getting her SP class this month. Well, thanks for continuing to watch. Alright, here we are. Turn 2. It looks like Maebari's pretty much ready to pull the trigger. So we'll see what YOASOBI can do here to stem the tide. Yeah, this is not my match. I'm not in the playoffs anymore, so I'm just streaming playoff games for anyone who wants to watch. We're into the top 16 now, so we've got some really good players left. YOASOBI does still have lots of mobility from the Ares, this Helena, who has some tiles laid down ahead of her, and Kyra as well. So it's not strictly open for Maebari to just charge in. Yeah, at this point I wouldn't invest in Alchemists just for Lana at this point. I wish I could see, when I clicked on units, I wish I could see their movement blocks on the screen. That is the downside of spectating like this. Yeah, Kata, I mean, at least there's a spectator mode. I think it would be nice to be able to get a spectator mode for other types of content too, like especially Ancient Beckoning. It would be neat to be able to watch players' lengthy Ancient Beckoning runs. But you're right, being able to just click on this and see the movement. I mean, the game knows what her movement range is. Just highlight the tiles. How hard is that? Alright, is YOASOBI going to lay down some preemptive anti-Cherie tiles? We're going to get the Hilda tiles first. Which is fair. Yeah, so the only way Cherie would be able to act again is if she did her range attack from here. But then she wouldn't be able to ignore Guard on this Kyra. If she tried to 3C first, for example, well, she wouldn't be able to act again regardless. But tiles wouldn't let her act again. So we're just going to splash some AoE out there. Get a little base layer of damage down since there's no healer on this side. And it didn't hit Kyra, so it didn't activate her AoE healing. Maebari took some time to think about that, so we're going to have to watch the backup time as well. Certainly not as bad as Kong backup time management. And in this kind of match, once they get to the point where they're initiating on each other, they won't really need that much time anymore. Yeah, I feel like YOASOBI's in a tough position now. Okay, so Kyra's going for the snipe on Cherie. Not quite enough. That's enough to make this Cherie's next move not really threatening. Unless she can 3C without getting counter-killed. Because that will heal her. Well, it'll heal her some. Because she's not going to do tons of damage when she's this hurt. So probably not worth trying to make a play, an overly sneaky play here for now. Yeah, so she's back to safety. Cherie can naturally heal herself up over time too, so Maebari's not necessarily in a huge rush to just blow her. Okay, so Sage's tiles are going down now. It's a bit of damage on Bernhard as well. Kyra still has one more guard ignore up her sleeve. The 3C, actually. Ares has his attack. Helena's still waiting back here as well. Nexus, it depends on what you mean by now. Do you mean like in these playoffs, the global playoffs, or do you mean what's happening in the future in the current Chinese meta? I'd say over the next couple seasons, Ding has a pretty good idea of what the meta looks like. There's a lot of single-target meteor threats. A lot of good assassins, particularly Epsilon and the new Werner. And of course Dark Matthew is always a threat. Maebari running low on backup time. YOASOBI getting there. Okay, so YOASOBI looks like is going to go for this. A little bit of free healing from Jugler there. But I think part of the reason he ported his Jugler up there in the first place was so that Ares couldn't go all the way in and suck the Cherie. It basically just limited who was going to be affected by that AoE. Okay, so here comes the Helena. She should be able to kill Jugler. Assassins, there are always going to be assassins that ignore guard. But there's different ways to deal with them than just tanking. Okay, so Maebari's side is not super healthy right now, but Cherie's looking in decenter shape. Bozel, of course, always has that next 3C ready. Lucretia doing her job very nicely. Okay, Ares does that job. So this Ares is pretty much toast, but he did get rid of Bozel. Kyra still has her 3C available. Burn taking the easy pickings, moving back a little bit. So of course Kyra doesn't have all the passive bonuses from her 3C now because she doesn't have enough allies. So she doesn't have the super mobility anymore. Oh, Cherie catches a breeze there, so Maebari fully in control of positioning for this turn at least. Sage didn't clock his 3C when he cast it earlier, so he is just a single target attack man for the next few turns. Cherie's helmet isn't working right now. Kyra taking advantage of that breeze that she just caught to take out Lucretia's golem. heal the rest of her team up a little bit, so Lucretia's range is now totally nerfed. She's just got a black hole right now anyway. Alright, Lucretia gets a breeze now. That might slightly help make up for the loss of range. I think, all things considered, Maebari would probably rather have the puppet than Breeze, because now Lucretia can at least get counterattacked when she's attempting to attack. Being able to attack from a nice, safe distance is slightly more important than being able to move further in or close the distance faster. So Lucretia has Reaper back. Topping up Kyra's buff. Well, Latonin, one of the nice things about saving 600 tickets for the Matthew banner is anyone who actually goes to all the effort of saving up 600 tickets isn't going to need them. You're probably going to get Matthew on like your first 50 summons. It's the people who go into that banner with only 50 summons that I'm more worried about. Alright, Cherie's making her play. Opens with the 3C to stun the tank. She doesn't get her act again because of this terrain. Now, Maebari would have definitely known about that. I wonder if that's a question of the backup time debuff. So, Kyra, we figured wasn't going to be able to kill that Cherie. Not really any follow-up for that, though, other than Cherie this turn. So yeah, I'm not sure what the stun really accomplishes there. I think that had to be backup time debuff. I wouldn't say it's over yet. Just because Maebari can draw this out a little bit longer to recharge Cherie back up again. Sage's 3C is going to be coming back soon, though, so that's problematic for Maebari. Hey, Snacks. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I think Maebari has no choice but to attempt to reset now. Ooh, oh! Sage squeezes out a kill on Bernhardt there. So that's one life off Sage. The Firebrand Sniper's not able to take the second life. Even if YOASOBI brings Hilda down to guard, Cherie still has her guard ignore, so she will be able to pop his second life. Now, is she going to be able to reach anything with all that death tiles? I don't think so, right? She does at least breeze herself. But her skills are gone. Her act again's gone for a turn. Kyra's skills are all back. She's under guard. Gonna have to hope to get some good black hole debuffs. Ooh, that's it for old Lucretia. Soul Bloods. Personally, I would say probably skip the choose banner to try to get Matthew, because Rosenseal is coming back on another banner soon-ish, and Bernhardt comes around on a banner fairly regularly, so you'll have lots of opportunities to get Bernhardt. No, the choose your own banner is in December. The Matthew banner's in January. Alright, things are looking pretty sketchy here for Maebari now. Behind on damage. They need to be able to kill YOASOBI's whole team in order to win this match. No, and it's not happening. Okay, so that is game one. YOASOBI takes it over Maebari. Yeah, to be honest, Kata, I think Maebari had a couple chances to win that game. A little bit tougher in the end, but it's easy for us to say, as the spectators, not having those giant numbers flashing up in the screen in our face while we're trying to make decisions, too. Okay, so that is game one. First we'll see if either player is going to bring anyone in from the backup box. Yeah, Soul Bloods, the new Dark Matthew, is pretty OP in general. But that's one of the things that's special about him. The other thing that's special about him, well, special in quotation marks, is that he's a limited unit. Kind of like a crossover unit. So after his banner, he's not going to be available. Like, you won't be able to summon him just in the normal summoning pool, so you won't be able to get off-banner Dark Matthews in the future. So if you want him, you have a 1-month window, and then that's it, until they decide to bring him back. And Snacks Max, thanks for the follow, by the way. Alright, so we got a few changes from both players. Illustrial brought up as a map-specific option. Werner and Mew as well, so very map-based, positional-based substitutions there. And YOASOBI basically making the same substitutions. Just checking out who they lost. So Maebari lost the kind of dark AoE slant, and Liana. Oh, Leonhardt too, that's interesting. So there could be some speedy and or teleporty shenanigans in this match. Nice to see Mew in both backup boxes. Alright, YOASOBI going with first pick Kruger. And losing out on both of those teleport shenanigan characters. Maebari, first pick Florentia. It's a good pick, having been edged out of one of your healers in the first ban. First pick Florentia as player 2, I still do like that. Frozen Max, I would say, for PvP, Dark Matthew's probably on Lucretia OP levels. I don't think he gets as much use in PvE, though, whereas Lucretia's the kind of character you can use in PvP and PvE, and she's OP everywhere. For example, Dark Matthew doesn't get used in any of the Ancient Beckoning battles, so he's not as much of a content-type generalist, but certainly for PvP he's very powerful. I've been trying to convince everyone to save up healthy, safe stashes. Basically in every episode of Should You Summon, I remind them, Matthew's coming. He's not the kind of character that you're gonna want to, like, not have enough tickets for and just, like, try for him and not get him and then kick yourself because you didn't save up enough. Well, Kizza, if the laterness that you regret it is like a year down the road and they bring the Dark Matthew banner back, then maybe you won't regret it that much. So Maebari loses access to Burn to buff all these heroes. Unfortunate. Greenwinkle, I can only put so much effort into live streams. Just gonna have to assume that you know who I mean when I say Matthew. So we do get Werner. This time YOASOBI's the one with Bozil, but we do have healers deployed, so both sides do have healers this time. Yeah, Lord, this could be a fun slugfest. So Kyra has a couple targets over here. Obviously, Helena can target basically whoever she wants. Depending on how the soldier choice mind games go, Kruger and Bozel both have access to very bulky Lancer-type units. Which I think they're probably going to be going for regardless, just because it'll make Werner pretty much irrelevant. So she could bring Highlands. Lots of weapons, though. YOASOBI has lots of AoE options. I mean, this is all 5 of these are AoE characters. Alright, so let's see what we got. We got sorceresses on this Kruger. We do have the stoners on Bozel. Thanks for the follower, Zicky Kane. Surprised you weren't following before, to be honest. Okay, we got Sage has both his skills this time. Gonna get some mass attack. Yeah, you can keep your bet tickets as long as you want. So you could even use them next season if you end up not betting. So we've got Kyra here with Faith. We went Angels on both Elena's. He doesn't need to guard ignore, so he's got Sprint and Ram. We've got an all single target Lucretia as well. That makes total sense. So Auto Run did defeat Clock. Thanks for the update, Greenwinkle. I'm glad I officially recommended people not to try that underdog bet. I love a really good underdog bet as much as the next person, and I made some money last season on underdog bets for sure. You missed your chance to bet for today. So you have to get your bets in before the matches start that day, but you can use your bet tickets from today on tomorrow's matches. So basically, tomorrow before the matches start, just come into the Apex Arena interface and you can buy more bet tickets. You can use your bet tickets on whoever you want. Yeah, Everblue's not a terrible underdog bet. Probably Frozen Max. What I'll do, I'll look at the remaining brackets after these matches and see who's left. But a big part of bet recommendations is also based on the odds. So it might be a bit too soon to give actual bet recommendations without seeing how much other people are betting on these people. Like some matches, I might think the players are really close. But if the betting's not really close, then that makes the odds a little bit better. For betting, specifically. Like this match, for example, was really even odds. Like I think it was like 260 to 260 around there bets for each player. So even if I thought they were really close, it's not a really good game to bet on because your returns just aren't as high. Whereas if I think these are both really even players, but the bets the bets are like 10 to 1 for one player or the other, then that makes the underdog a pretty enticing bet in that situation. So we'll see. We'll see what the brackets look like after the games. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Oh, lots of people bet on Egg Tang, I see. It's just one game, my friends. Yeah, I need to do the gold joint battle for the first time in like 100 years, Campa. I keep never doing it because my static joint battle group has an aversion to that one, so yeah, never do it. I need gold so bad I might even do it with randos. I might even do it with randos. Isn't that a terrifying thing to have to say? Latonin, I do have my Transcender built, and he's in my provisional Apex box right now. Helena coming in for the double kill on Sage. Campa, never underestimate the capability of randos for badness. Yeah, I might be able to convince Tristan to do the joint battle with me. Tristan, if you're on the stream, send a little flexing emoji to let me know that we can do gold joint battle tomorrow. Alright, what are you going to do about this Helena that's all up in your grill? Got a bunch of AoE characters. Or below your own Helena. Yep, so that's a trade. Maebari's Helena in exchange for YOASOBI's Sage. Alright, Kyra able to pick off that Kruger sitting at the top there, and then get back. Not quite to safety, but out of the way. No act again. Oh, it's freezing in the studio tonight. And I'm just starting to get a cold. Mrs. Kong brought a cold home. And today's my first day with it. But I do have a lovely steak upstairs that I'm going to be having after this stream, so Steaks always make you feel better. Alright, so Maebari has been able to use these rangy threats and getting the jump in with Helena to pick off a couple units without repercussions so far. So really all YOASOBI has left is Bozal Explosion luck. The Werner's not going to do too much against Bozal, but as part of a 1-2-3 punch, I think this Bozal's probably toast. So he does heal block the Kyra and Vance. Heal block gets removed there, so that's nice. Just enough to keep this Kyra alive. Now, let's see if Maebari can put any kind of dent in this Bozal before next turn. Bozal doesn't have his skill up. Oh yeah, Bozal's toast. So that's going to be GG. So that will leave us 1-1. So Maebari picking up a match there, and we're going into sudden death. The winner of the next match will take it. And it's on Floating Courtyard. So we'll see some backup box changes again. Get back on some teams that are more appropriate on this map. I love this map. It's kind of a divisive map. There are a lot of people who really hate it. I kind of like how limiting it is. I do think it would be kind of interesting if they threw a map in the rotation that was literally no obstruction, like the whole box of just like no terrain, like indoors terrain or something, with no trees, no hills, no city walls, just a big rectangle. It would be like the equivalent of Final Destination from Smash. And just throw it into the rotation, so every once in a while, you know, you'll get these maps with lots of corridors and sky that people can't go on, and then every once in a while you'll get a map that's just featureless. And you have the whole map to just play on. Okay, using every second of box rejigging time to bring Vincent, King of the Red Moon, and Sage of the Trees up. YOASOBI decides to keep Illustrial, Leonhart, and Mew. So Maebari really going with a kind of potential AoE rush setup here. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do that gold joint battle tomorrow. Gonna have to do it. Oh, this is scary. Egg Tang getting wrecked, huh? Alright, so we're getting a couple Jugglers. We are getting that Leonhardt in action. So, apologies for having been skeptical of it earlier. Bozel's good on this map. He can fly. And there's no healers left. So, Juggler is kind of the anti-AoE. I mean, Maebari already has a healer, but Florentia's not necessarily the best against a Bozel. Wow, and Illustrial gets out too. That'll be interesting. And we'll get to see one of Maebari's backup choices. It's going to be King of the Red Moon. So some scary AoEs here, plus Illustrial, who probably was really just picked because she's not a tank. Hilda's not going to really do much against this comp on this map. And for Maebari's part, we've got 5 big scary AoE units. Sage is pretty oppressive on this map, though, like Sage and Juggler combo. Maebari does have a healer. It's going to be a tall order to keep up for just Florentia against this onslaught, but it's better than nothing. Alright, what do we got? What do we actually got in action? Yeah, we got Flying Bozel with Sorceresses. Oh, the sniffles are starting. Full AoE Bozel. Oh, Juggler brought the faction buff for Illustrial. That's cute. And I guess he's Origins too, isn't he? So Sage's faction buff is really just for him and Bozel. We do have a flex single target AoE Lucretia here to help deal with some of those bulky targets that you're not going to just AoE down all the way. That is King of the Red Moon's EOL skin, isn't it? Little floating crown? That looks pretty good. That's pretty good. And we have mass attack on Florentia and on Lucretia. Kiza, if they were going to put one Langrisser character in Smash, who would it be? Yeah, I was thinking Elwyn just because he's their mascot, but imagine the outrage of just another red-haired sword character. Jugler would be fun. I could see them putting Bozil in, too. Ron? Sad they didn't bring any of the or EOL skins back when they did the reruns of these crossover banners. It sounds like Egg-Tang's done for. Kiza, I have Transcender ready in my Apex box right now. I'm just building a couple last pieces of gear. And I've been using him in a couple scrims. But I haven't been getting tons and tons of practice yet. I will, though. I will. To be perfectly honest, he sucks. It's sad to say. Alright, Leonhardt getting ready. Are we going to see a preemptive act again here? We are. On Kruger. Leonhardt gets heal blocked. Heal blocked. Heal blocked. Bozil not heal blocked. Gold Magistrate, that just means double the gambling tomorrow. Alright, what are these two Leon's Heart going to do now? Yeah, Kiza, he recently had a bit of a resurgence when his 3-cost skill came out, which is this little clone summon. But he's not in every box. Alright, so the Leonhardt triple threat, not quite enough to finish off Kruger here, although Kruger's in pretty rough condition. Kruger figures, if his time's up, he might as well get some more debuffs off. Given that YOASOBI doesn't have a healer, this all adds up. Alright, so that's it for Kruger. This is a stressful game 3. Both sides just exploding off each other. Yeah, trying to get Lucretia back into shape, taking some of those debuffs off. Her int is still down. But they are ready. Alright, so here comes the Jugler Splash. Just puts a tiny dent in them. She's just going to single target Jugler down. Heal back up. Well, Kiza, go tell your friends. I actually do have 3 IRL friends who play this game. Which, I don't know, it seems kind of like kind of impressive. For a niche game. Buy a billboard to make an advertisement. You know what? Zlong's initial advertising of this game was bad enough that if they wanted to give me money to put up a billboard in some small Canadian town, it would probably be better advertising than what they did. Yeah, Benjamin, that's true, but at the same time, the late game is not the only place where the game is fun. Like, as long as you're enjoying the game, grinding and building up your team, then it's still fun to be able to do that early stuff, too. Bozel still has AoEs available. We have a silenced Lucretia. King of the Red Moon's right in the mix here, though. Both players fairly healthy on backup time. Florentia going for the attempted silence removal there. Didn't get it. Well, Illustrial takes out the Jugler. I don't think he was particularly scary anymore. Well, Snacks, that honestly depends on the rest of your team. I'd probably still make Sigma an Archer. And Narm's not bad either, you know. But eventually, when you get to endgame, you're going to want Narm to be on your Hugin and Munin team. And maybe you'll have Sigma on your Hugin and Munin team as well. Okay, so that's just cleaning up the Leonhardt with a normal attack from her. Pretty good use of Lucretia without her skills there. And King of the Red Moon is able to come in here and just explode with impunity. He still has his revive left, so he's gonna attempt to pester these two remaining units. What do I consider to be the best unit? Oh man, there's so many good units. Right now, it's really hard not to say Lucretia. Just because she's so OP for PvP. She's in endgame PvE, like she's on top scoring teams for 2 Ancient Beckoning fights. She's just super useful generally, like she has her little teleport back, she has a revive, she has incredible range, she has powerful skills, AoE and single target skills. You can put a Gift of Eternal Life on her and make her a pseudo healer. Pretty much can do everything in one unit. She's a very scary unit. I mean, Bozel's good. For sure, Bozel's good, and his 3C's really good. I don't think his 3C makes him the best unit in the game, though. So they just popped King of the Red Moon's Revive. But we now have a non-silenced Lucretia with all of her skills up. She still has her revive. She's able to finish off Illustrial at that range, so Maebari looks to have this one pretty comfortable, unless Bozel's able to get really incredibly lucky debuff luck with this 3C. Yeah, I don't think they'll be nerfing any characters, Benjamin. But yeah, Light of Genesis and Lucretia are both very well-rounded units for PvE especially. And that's it. So Maebari takes it with a really scrappy victory in Game 3. So let's take a quick look at the rest of the brackets. So Auto Run beat Clock, and he was the favorite there. Absol and Mr. Bug still going. Daywalker and Meow still going. Straw beat Dennis. Dark Knight beat Everblue. Trady upset Eggtang. So Eggtang was a heavy favorite there, and Trady upset. So anyone who bet on Trady made some money tonight. Yeah, I don't think they nerfed Elwyn, though. They may have adjusted him, but I don't think they nerfed him. So, we don't have the full view of what the next bracket is going to look like until these games are over. Let's hop in. Since I have some money against my guildmate, Meow Sensei, let's jump into this match. And see how we're doing. So, Trady is currently down a Kyra. Meow is down a Lucretia. Daywalker's team looking in pretty decent shape back here. Meow is really low on backup time and has an almost dead Ashram as well. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yeah, Meow Sensei loves... He has a great dark box, so Ashram is in there. Albedo's in there. He likes to use Omega as well. Yeah, if you want to see some interesting matches, Ziki, go back and watch some of Meow's matches from the previous rounds. I would love to build Ashram personally. He's an interesting unit. But he's one of those units that is not like universally applicable like so many of the meta Apex box units. He's a very specific type of use. Meow has him in there for that reason. He knows how to use his units. But it looks like Daywalker is going to be able to just play back, play patient. It's not in the bag, though, because it's all single target. I guess he does have Black Hole, but it's on a 5 CD cooldown. Getting some splash damage from Burn to finish off that Ashram. Oh, and Burn goes down. Now, Albedo still has a revive here, so even if Daywalker wants to really expose this Lucretia to go in and try to finish off Albedo, she'll just be back. Meow's only remaining DPS is a Kruger completely on cooldown, though. So we do pop the revive on Albedo. And pulse Lucretia, so she will have her 3C and her freeze strike back. Suicide's the golem against Lucretia. Just to bust these Sorks. Alright, so we proc Wind Wall on Albedo. Barely enough to save her there. Is the golem gonna go and finish her off? No, Golem's gonna play safe. Come back to the team. Come back to the team. Daywalker's gonna have turn priority. So this Albedo is pretty toast. Not even waiting for turn priority. We're throwing the act again up right now. Yeah, not a great act again. It was just totally burned with Albedo using that shield bash to stun the only unit that was still up. And now giving her the ward skill from Kruger. So he has skills now. He's able to kill the golem. She's still going to be able to kill Albedo here. Yeah, no procs, no special procs. So it's going to be a question of whether Lucretia kills Kruger before Kruger can do something damaging. Using the act again on Lucretia was very probably a preemptive move against that shield bash. Like, Daywalker knew the shield bash was coming, and if Lucretia's turn wasn't active, then she would have lost her action next turn. Instead, all she lost was that immediate action, and she was available again the next turn. So it was probably a preemptive protection against that shield bash. So Lucretia, no single target skills available right now. Meow does have Act again. And Kruger does have his 3C AoE and Dark Reaper. And a Breeze. So Daywalker's going to be hoping for some nice debuffs here. We got a heal block. But no silence. So here comes the big explosion. That's a heal block and a bunch of debuffs on Lucretia. Now is Kruger going to be able to finish her off with Dark Reaper here? Then Daywalker will just have 2 healers left. Oh, and he does finish her off. So Daywalker's going to have to kill this Kruger with 2 healers, 2 debuffed healers. Florentia alone can't do it. And he's able to be healed now. His heal block is down. So Liana gets him basically back up to full. Daywalker getting himself blocked out now. They have to find a way to get rid of this Kruger somehow. Now, Daywalker is also massively ahead in damage. So just surviving will also win the game for Daywalker. But that means surviving for 3 more turns against a full health DPS. It does not seem that likely. There's no blocking Kruger. This is the final 6 spots of the map, and he's already in one, so... The Florentia's only able to, Yeah, okay. She had her 3C again. She's keeping people healed up. She's putting some free damage out. She can only melee from there, so that's not really to Daywalker's benefit. Yeah, that's a fair point, Zuko. He's going to have AoEs available. I mean, he's going to have all his skills available. So that's going to be Meow's road to coming back here. 3 turns left. Yeah, Liana basically has to go here. And then just stay healthy. Keep Kruger in melee range of everyone. And just try to stay healthy. So he will be able to AoE, which will put a lot of crippling damage on these characters. But Meow needs to be able to kill them both. And Daywalker has a lot of dispelling here still. Daywalker is ahead by 100,000 damage. They're both heal blocked. For now, they could be stripped. They have a lot of debuff stripping. Lots of debuff stripping potential here. Force Priest. Oh, look like he doesn't have Night Bloom on Florentia. But her heal block is off. So putting the battle support on Liana to get her healthy again. No debuffs. Liana healing herself. It does remove the heal block from Florentia. She gets a couple little Kruger debuffs. Which, yeah, he's at 6 stacks now. He's at 6 stacks. He has Reaper up. Oh, and it doesn't quite finish Florentia. Florentia left with 900 hit points from that melee Reaper. That was pretty much Meow's only chance there. This is it. Yeah, this is the last turn. So, not going to have any more real damage opportunities from Kruger. If he can't kill Liana here with a normal attack, then it's over. And clearly he can't. Oh wow, what a nail-biter. What a way to finish that. Game 3. Daywalker beats Meow 2-1 with a real healer versus healer melee battle in the middle. Crazy match. Alright, it looks like Mr. Bug ended up beating Absol. So we do have one match that's still going, and it's Desu Life versus SCL. So let's just catch the tail end of this match. So Desu Life is down to a couple healers and a Bozil over here. Licorice in deep. SCL has most of the team available, but they're all heal blocked and injured. And Burn is stunned. SCL slightly ahead on damage, not enough to really matter, and also ahead on backup time. Desu Life is pretty low on backup time. Hey, Elimirius, welcome to the stream. Very tail end of the live stream, but you're here anyway. So SCL thinking about his best way of getting himself out of this little situation. Looks like he's going to be putting his eggs in the Lucretia basket, where they belong. What do you have, Bozil? Bozil has 3C up. And it's a support Licorice. So this is actually the last match that's still happening. All the other games are done, so as soon as this match is over, we'll take a quick look at what the next round of brackets is going to look like for tomorrow's games. And maybe there will be some potential upsets to bet on. The Golem bravely sacrifices his life to crack Bozil's 100% Sorks. But it's not enough to let Lucretia get the one-shot. That said, Bernhardt's awake again. Lucretia still available there with her 3C. So, is Desu going to be able to get Bozil healthy enough to withstand this onslaught? The Sorks are still not at 100%. So here comes the 3C. Okay, and Bozil's dead. That leaves Desu Life with just 2 healers against a tank, a healer, a Bernhardt, and a Lucretia. It's looking like SCL has this one. Yep. GG, fellas. Didn't get to see your entire match, but GG for the very end of it anyway. So we are going to have, tomorrow we're going to have Auto Run versus Mr. Bug. I would say Auto Run, still a fairly safe choice for that. Then we're going to have Daywalker versus Straw. I would say Straw, a safe bet on that one. We're going to have Trady versus Dark Knight. That one might be a little bit closer, although I'll have to go back and watch Trady's matches against Egg-Tang, because being able to beat Egg-Tang is impressive enough. Yeah, that one could be a tight match. And the betting might be tight there too. Actually, usually what happens when an underdog upsets someone who had more bets than them in an earlier round, a lot of people start betting on them thinking that they're going to be super awesome. So we may see lots of support thrown behind Trady. We'll have to see what the betting looks like tomorrow. And then we have Maebari versus SCL. That one might be another close one. Maebari had pretty much even odds with YOASOBI, and I can see Maebari having very close to even odds with SCL as well. But if people maybe think that Maebari's underrated, and a lot of people know SCL's name, SCL may get a lot of votes there, and that could make Maebari a good underdog bet. So I can't give any recommendations on who to bet on quite yet until we start seeing the numbers come in tomorrow. But I would say the Maebari SCL match and the Trady Dark Knight match will probably both be fairly close matches. So if one of them really runs away with bet numbers, then it could be fairly valuable to bet on the underdog in those two matches. Over here, I think the results are a little bit more tilted, so the betting might be a little bit tougher to justify on the left side. But we'll wait and see tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for watching some good PvP. Maybe later in the week, I'll come back and revisit some of these matches that we didn't get a chance to watch, but like I said earlier, I have a steak waiting for me upstairs, so I'm going to cut the stream here, and maybe we'll come back and watch some more later. So yeah, thanks for coming, thanks for watching these playoff matches with me, always fun, and I'll be streaming more tomorrow, so we'll get to watch, let's see. Yeah, I kind of want to watch the straw match. And then maybe if we get a real underdog situation over on the right that everyone ends up betting on, maybe we'll watch that one too, since we'll all have money riding on it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow to watch some more games with you. Happy Langrissing, everyone.